This meeting is being recorded. Good evening, and welcome back to the Let's Talk Destiny talk show. I'm your host, Jamesina Green, and I'm honored to be here with you. As I have explained earlier, our theme for this month, being that it's Black History Month, we want to talk to some individuals about Black love and diversity in our relationships. And today, I'm beyond thrilled to have one of my sister writer friends here with me who writes about relationships and Black love and the ups and downs and all the twists and turns. And so she's going to talk to us tonight a little bit about um, her expression of writing. And so tonight I want to welcome to the platform my sister writer, Christine Pauls. Christine is a caring native of Wilmington, Delaware, which is like a couple hours from me, and author of women's fiction. She is also an accountant, a loving mother and grandmother. Her unique voice is a gift to the literary world, and I am honored that she chose to spend some time with me tonight. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. All right. First, I'd like to ask you to just tell us a little bit about Christine. What are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do? What makes you smile?
Oh boy. Well, of course, writing is one of my hobbies. Well, you know what? I'm going to take that back. Writing is not a hobby. It is a calling. It is something that I never expected to be doing at all because it was not an aspiration to write books. So, but I do love to read. I love concerts, music, my grandkids, try to spend time with them as much as I can. Yes. Because my work schedule can be so hectic, especially this time of year. You know, I made it home just in time to get on line because, accountant work and it's tax season. I work in the tax department. So it definitely, this is the most busy time of the year for me.
Yeah.
Other than that, I just love spending time with my family, my best friend. I don't think I have too many hobbies, at all. To be honest, I like to do a variety of things. There are things I don't like to do. So, yeah. But yeah. And what else about me? I just moved. This is my second year in my home. I now live in Newcastle, Delaware.
Okay.
But I was born and raised in Wilmington. I was the 12th child and I had 6 brothers and 6 sisters. But they are all, I'm the baby. They're all much older than me. I have lost some of my siblings. My oldest sister is like 83 years old. So that, kind of tells you that. I got my 2 girls, my 3 grandkids, and, I just love life, I guess you could say. I try to love it every single day because you just never know. So I just try to embrace it as, every day, take it every day as it comes.
Yes, I love that. And I love that with our connection on social media. I see that a lot from you. Even when you're having issues that may be disturbing, you still go through those times with anticipation that everything's going to work out all right.
That's right.
I enjoy that. I enjoy that.
Thank you. Yep. I try to stay positive, but I appreciate all like the circle of friends, Facebook friends that I have. I draw strength from that, especially when I'm not feeling my best or something, like you said, something's going on. And it's not that I really mean to like post, everything, but there's certain things, if I'm feeling down or whatever, if I just put a post out there and just of the feedback, everybody come, praying for you or giving me some words of encouragement. Because I feel like, we all need that from time to time. I mean, human. So And I've been your Facebook friend. It seems like we've been Facebook friends for quite some time.
Yes, I was trying to remember today how long it's been, but I couldn't even.
Because I
Because I
got on
didn't even
Facebook.
think it's been 2 years since you moved. I just barely remember you saying you had moved, and it's been
Yep.
2 years
This is
already.
my second. This is my second year. You know, God
Wow.
really blessed me with this house
Yeah.
because I lived in a city in Wilmington. It was, the neighborhood was deteriorating. It was just
Yeah.
getting just shootings, drug related incidents. And I kept telling my daughter, we gotta get out of here, you
Yeah.
know. And I didn't think that my house was gonna sell. Like, because who wants to live there, unless, some investor would get it. But God really worked it out with the home. Put my house on the market. It sold in like a month, and
Wow.
I got more for it than what I thought I was going to, which I even ended up making a small profit from it and monies and all that. And then here I am. I got the house really that I always wanted, my rancher. So this is it.
That's awesome. That's a blessing.
Yes,
And
it is.
in regard to what you were talking about with social media, I know that some people, are always complaining that they have bad experiences and they don't never see anything positive, whatever. But I don't have that experience because
Either.
I can see things just like everybody else. I see some negative posts or whatever, but I don't connect to that. So I just keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like you. There are times, especially if you live alone or if you have health challenges or whatever the case may be, that
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't have the connection of you and other sister friends or even male friends on social
Yep.
media to talk to vent to even cry to sometimes, I don't know what I would do. So I'm very grateful that we met through social media and
Mm-hmm.
that we can maintain this connection. I'm very proud to say that I'm your friend, not just because Facebook says that I'm your friend, but I really do count you as a friend.
Same here. Same here.
All right. Also, while I'm talking to Miss Christine, I want to remind our audience to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There are some amazing conversations and content on the channel that I know will bless your soul. And so I encourage you to remember to once to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. Okay, I wanted to ask you, Miss Christine, I noticed that in the books that you've written that I have read, there's
Mm-hmm.
a theme of family relationships. There's a theme of, as I mentioned earlier, Black love, the different types, whether it's family love or friends or what have you. But there's different forms of that.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you choose to write about that, about families?
Okay, so my first book was really real life driven, so to speak. More of my life experiences growing up, you know, with my aunt, who was one of the most strict women that I could have ever been raised by. When I first came into her life, she raised me from an infant. So, um, and at that time, she hadn't accepted Christ. She partied, she did all the stuff that she did. Then when it was like in the 60s when she gave her life to Christ, and she really was regimented with that, and she stuck with
Yeah.
it. And a lot of the stuff I talk about in my first book is true. And I think I write about family so much in I'm going to say my first two books is because
Yeah.
I try to, I think, compensate sometimes for the family I didn't have. Our family
I
was not
understand.
as close,
Yeah.
So when I write about the family unit and love, and even with all the problems, and putting a Christian spin on my first two books. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really important, from, to begin again to
Yeah.
one good thing. Those are my two family books. You know, the one in the middle, Belinda's song, that was more, I guess you would say, dark, but I was trying to bring out what happens in foster care when,
Yeah.
some things get, slipped under the rug. But, I like writing about family and women's issues, and
Yeah.
whether good or bad, it doesn't
That's
matter.
right.
So, but I have branched out a little bit into the romance field and do some romantic suspense in my later um, books. So I'm still learning and I'm still growing. And, it's good to be in um, with Nelena Kai. We have an authors group that I've been a part of. Um, and I've done, I was in a series. I'm going to be in another series. I mean, it really has enhanced my writing,
Awesome.
in that
Awesome.
way. And I can be honest, I really thought my three books, that was it. They were going to be probably the only books that I ever wrote, ever. I was,
Okay.
because I had
Okay.
really didn't want to write anymore.
Yeah.
Then she came, and I am glad that I'm still doing it. I didn't
Good.
think I
Good.
would be, but I'm glad
That's
I'm still.
interesting. Yeah, I find that very interesting because um, some people I speak with, they are like, I knew from childhood that I was going to be an author because ever since I learned how to spell words, I, I started writing. And then I talked with others who said I may have been asked to just submit something for an anthology. And then someone said, oh, you should write a book. And then I've met others who said, I wrote a couple things, but that's it. Like I have no desire to do it. So I just think that it's important to know what works for you and to pursue that. I watch you smile as you talked about the connections you have, even with those that are helping you with your
Mm-hmm.
writing and helping you to be the best version of yourself as a
Yes,
writer.
yes,
And
yes,
I
yes.
love that. So how at what age did you recognize or even acknowledge that you were going to write?
I think my writing came more from trauma. Like,
Okay.
people write for different reasons. They write to heal themselves, getting it all out on the paper. And I always say that my writing, I was in my 40s, and I call it divine intervention, because the way it all came about, I was in a bad place. I was, in a
Yeah.
dark place. Uh, Bad marriage, got out of that. I really was starting my life over from financial everything. I was living in an apartment, and that somebody had to co-sign for. Like that's how my life
Yeah.
had taken. I mean, starting from the beginning, living the
Yeah.
paycheck to paycheck, it was just a mess. And then I just remember I know I was depressed
Yeah.
about it, sitting there in that apartment by myself every day. And then something said, write your story. And that's where my first book came from. And I thought to myself, and I remember looking around my apartment like I could swear, I mean, I heard it, and so I remember I had $20. That was all the money that I had until payday. And I didn't have a car. I walked to the nearest dollar store and I bought tablets and some ink pens. I didn't have a computer or anything. And I came home and I sat at my dining room table and I'm like, now what am I supposed to write? First I thought, oh, no, it could be a memoir. I don't know. And the story just started taking shape,
Yeah.
and that's when I ended up on Facebook. My daughter said, you should get on Facebook. You can meet authors, whatever. And because of course, like publish a book, how do you do that? What
Yeah.
about editing? What about covers? What about, so it was definitely a learning experience. I still really, even when I released my first book, I mean, I knew I was an author, but I still didn't feel like one. I didn't feel like,
Yeah.
I still didn't feel like, and it took, I guess, kind of a few more books for me to really feel like I
Yeah.
had arrived. You know, I'm still,
That being awesome.
yeah, I want the bestseller title, but at the same time, I'm just still thankful for every opportunity, every book that I've written, because I'm
Yes.
going into writing like my 8th book. And I didn't think I would
And that's
write
something.
one
That's
book,
wow. That's
so
powerful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I'm happy for. I'm very proud of you that you stuck with it. What is your, every writer I know, including myself, has a different ritual, but what is your pen to paper ritual? I heard you say that you got some tablets and pens when you
Mm-hmm.
first started. Do you still write it out, or are you one of those that goes directly to the computer?
Well, I'm what they call a pantser. That's somebody that writes by the seat of their pants.
Okay.
I am learning to, I do write in a tablet, but it's more scene driven. Like, I don't
Okay.
sit there and write the whole book in a tablet, but I use handwriting more than I used to. Usually I'll sit at the computer and I'm typing up stuff, but I transfer my stuff to the Word document. But
Yeah.
I find that writing longhand is, it's helpful. It's I
That's
got
how I
a
am. I
I got a
write
tablet
everything.
right
Yeah.
here, right now. So if I get an idea, I'll take the tablet to work. I'll put it on the side of my desk in case if I get an idea, I'll jot it down. Or
That's right. Same way. Same here. Yeah.
yeah, I still use longhand sometimes, but not as much as I use my Word document on my laptop. So
Okay. Do you require, when you're at home, you're able to write at home, do you require absolute quiet, or do you listen to music, or what does the atmosphere
yeah,
need to be like for you?
I always have to have some kind of background noise. It could be music, it could be uh, something that I put on Amazon Prime. It could be a movie, could be a documentary. It's
Yeah.
always silence. I can't work with silence. It has to be, even if, like I
Yeah.
said, it's background noise, for me. So yeah, I have to have some form of chatter, I guess.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
understand that. Believe me. I feel the same way. I can't do the complete silence. I just can't do it. My
Oh, and I
mind's
have to
just
have
all over the
a
place.
glass of wine too on the side.
Yes. It's funny I mentioned that to you in the chat, in
You
because
did, you did.
my son, my oldest son, said to me a couple of weeks ago, he said, Mom, when you tell me about these interviews and conversations that you're having, he said, I can visualize you sitting on the couch with someone or sitting in a chair in front of them, and both of you are just sipping a glass of wine and just
Yeah.
conversing. And I started laughing. And so then when Miss Joyce was here, and then she gave me her review, and she said that about sipping the wine and sitting on the couch, I started laughing because I hadn't told her what my son said.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was really interesting. And
If
I said,
if I had wine, I would have it, but I was rushing home and I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop.
well, I appreciate you making the sacrifice.
So
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
but that
Uh,
would work. You should do that. Like, it
yeah.
should be, each
Yeah,
person.
and I think that's a really good idea. And I think
Mhm.
next month is my 1 year anniversary. So
Okay.
thinking of ways to make things a little better for me. And that's why I
Hmm.
was asking about the backgrounds and everything. Because I'm, I want to take baby steps.
Yeah.
Because at
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
I didn't even want to do the show until I was like, I see so many other people and they got this going on, they got that going on. And my family members were like, people are not tuning in for bells and whistles. They're tuning in for content. So
Hmm.
you get
Exactly.
started. Yeah, you get started,
Yeah.
you can get all the rest of that stuff later. So
Yeah. It's real
yeah.
easy to do your background. So you gotta do it's easy. You have to have that little Zoom, your
Yeah.
account. You do have an account with Zoom, right? So
Right.
yeah, well, go into your account. You should be able to see your do backgrounds.
Okay. I'll look in there when we get off
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay.
I'm going to take a break from everything else I'm planning to do this evening. Now, let me ask you this question. As you are um, moving forward with your purpose, um, do you feel like your personal life has been enhanced because of your writing? Like things have been made better for you personally? And if so, what do you see in the future with regard to your growth and your writing?
My writing has definitely, personally, has enhanced me as a person. Um, yes, it has definitely enhanced me as a person, more confident, more I'm still working on my, public speaking. I'm a very shy person, so it was interesting. I used to say, God, why you want me to write? And I have to talk in front of people. And it just really is
Yeah,
still something that I'm learning to do because I don't like doing it. And because it's almost like my thoughts and my words are two different things. Like I could be thinking and it doesn't come out the way I want to. But
yeah,
other than that, it definitely has matured me and it makes me happy. It has given me peace. I'm a whole different person. I've been tremendously blessed over ever since I've been writing, all the years that have gone by. I bought my first house when I was 49 years old. So,
yeah.
then another one and, got my credit back. I did, and it's all because of the change. And it does have to do with my writing, and I feel like I'm definitely a better writer now than I
Okay,
was because I
that's
think
awesome.
every book is a
Yeah,
learning, every book. So I would never
absolutely.
change anything about any of my books that I have written. My first book, my any of them, because
Yeah,
that was me then,
that's
and then
right.
my
That's
books,
right.
going forward,
Absolutely.
has it shown my improvement in that
Absolutely.
arena, and all the people that are in my life now. I never thought that I would have so many authors in my life from all over the country,
That's right.
so it's really a wonderful thing. Yep.
And I say this, I've said this for years and I will continue to say it that every step of your life journey is important.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to devalue any of it because
That's right.
what we are today is a sum total of everything we've been through to this point,
That's
and
correct.
every piece of it is important. And
That
so
is.
the wonderful person that we see sitting here tonight is because of everything that you've been through
Mm-hmm.
and what you're going through now. And I'm grateful to God that you've made it and that you are blossoming and growing. And it is my prayer that you will continue to grow and to just be the very best that you can be.
Amen.
I need to get caught up on some Christine Paul's book. I definitely want to get the latest one because the title of it and the book cover and the synopsis is like, so I'm definitely going to get that.
You talking
But
about
I
my
am
most
grateful.
recent book? You talking
Yes,
about the most recent book? You talking about this book?
that's it.
70 Days of Pleasure. Let me tell you something about that.
Talk.
So, this is part of a series uh, with Nelena Kai and who it's a 9-book series. It
Okay.
starts with 10 days of pleasure to 90 days of pleasure. It is based on her best-selling book Open Door Marriage. I
Okay.
don't know if you've ever read Open Door Marriage by Nelena Kai, but it centers around NBA basketball star Dallas Avery, who falls in love with Alicia Mitchell, and there is a large age difference between them. It's
Okay.
a gap in the age, but it's a great story. Her book, Open Door Marriage, of their love. Um, and we took those characters and created our own stories based on Dallas and Alicia, different situations that they're in, romantic, suspenseful, um, different locations. Like my book takes place in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
There are people that the other books, they take place in different parts of the country, Paris,
Okay.
Seattle, all over. So they are all standalones, and we all have written our stories about quick
Wow.
read. It's not a long drawn out story.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you would
That's a
like,
great idea.
it is a great idea. So and all
Mm-hmm.
the covers were done by her son JL Woodson. He really is one of the, if not the best graphic designer
Wow.
on the planet. And I'm not just saying that because he revamped my first three books, the ebook covers right now. He revamped all of my covers
Okay.
for those books, and I need to get that together so I can get them on my paperbacks. But
Okay.
yeah, and
Wow.
I'm going to be in another series with the ladies, and I enjoy writing. That was my first time being in a series, first time
That's
being
wonderful.
a part of this, and I just, I love the book. It wasn't easy because at first I did doubt myself about it, like, oh, I don't know if I could, be in this book with people like, but then we have some new people
Right.
in there, and um I hope you read it. It's really good. All the books are good.
Yeah. I mean, I
All
had it
nine.
written down. I definitely need to.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. All right, Ms. Christine, I'm going to be letting you go in just a few minutes, but I want to ask you one more question, and then I need to get your contact information
Okay.
for you to share with the audience.
Sure.
What is one personal life experience that has changed the trajectory of your life in such a way that you have landed on your feet somewhere you never imagined? I imagine the divorce probably was very traumatic, but what out of that experience made you say, I'm going to survive this, I'm going to get through it, and I'm going to be a better me? Would it be that your divorce, or was it something else that happened?
Well, okay, so it would be something else. Yeah, the divorce was hard, but uh being married was hard. For 10 years it was hard. But I think what led to the choices of selecting a mate, had to do with well, okay, let's put it like this. My father, he was not present. I mean, he was alive, but I never had any interaction with him. But when I was about 23 years old, I experienced a sexual assault where a man broke into my home. Me and my kid daughters, we were in public housing. And let's just say I knew who he was, but it was definitely an event that put me in a very down, dark space because at first, he was somebody I did know, and it it was something that I never told. Like I never told my mother, I never told my aunt, I never told my sisters and brothers. I kept it. even though he, went to prison and all that, I kept that. I didn't. So my mother passed in the 90s. I never told her. My aunt passed in 86. I never told her. I never, probably told one of my sisters maybe a few years ago. And I went through like that whole thing by myself, and mentally just thinking like if I could just forget about it, I'd be okay. But I think when I look back on that, and then I look at myself now, it could have been a whole different.
Yeah.
I might not even be sitting here.
Exactly.
It could have been a totally, different. And then I had just found out really recently. I received a phone call that he's being released on parole. Wow. So, he has spent about 20 plus years in prison, but,
Yeah.
It was interesting, just one of those things, he was, his parents, his family, we all went to church together. We were all in the same congregation, and I did say something to his parents, but she was like, no, not my son didn't do that.
Yeah.
I think because I had children, I was a single mom, and I had, my first daughter at 17, and, and whatever, she may have, I'm pretty sure she thought I was this person that, did all that. But, I realized that I did become a better person because I feel like my story can help others, and to say, that happened to you, but that doesn't mean that you can't overcome that with the help of God and be who you are. Like, because I never could see myself being an accountant or writing books or buying houses and stuff like that. I could have been in a mental hospital because, that was many years I kept that secret.
Yes, I totally understand. Believe me.
So yeah.
So I think that what I have come to understand, and what I'm hearing you say as well, and I hope that any other sisters or whoever will be listening to this interview, but especially since we're talking about Black Love this month, I think that the biggest thing for us as women to learn how to do is to love ourselves first.
That's right.
And to accept that we deserve to be treated with respect.
That's right. That is
when
right.
we're not treated with respect, we don't have to swallow it and just carry it with us, because far too many of us do that.
That is true.
I was listening as you were talking. I was molested starting at age 8 for several years by a married cousin. And I never told anybody. I was like 19 when I told somebody. They just kind of brushed it off. And then at 32, it all just came shut me down. And I ended up in a mental health unit. And so this is why, one of the reasons I do what I do, because sometimes people say, you make me laugh, or I look forward to your posts because sometimes you're so hilarious. But people don't really know what you go through to get to the point where you can laugh. Because for years, I could not laugh at all. And even now, sometimes I laugh to not cry. So I totally understand what you're saying. And I'm so glad you shared that, because I know for a fact that there will be others who will watch this conversation who are in the same situation. And they need to know that just like you came out of it on top, they can come out as well.
They can. And while we're here, I did want to shout out Joyce Brown. She is my one of my closest friends, not just the author, but one of my closest friends. We talk, she listens to me. She encourages me, especially when I feel like giving up on the writing. She reads my work, I'll read her work, she gives me suggestions. I always tell her she's one of the smartest women I know, so I hope she sees this, once you
Oh, I
upload.
know she will because she
Yeah.
commented on the when I promoted it. And this is I really want to work on trying to get these to be able to live stream these because I know that there are
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
do want to listen in. But then on the other hand, Christine, this is something that Miss Joyce and I were talking about.
Hmm.
I'm kind of selfish because I enjoy the
The
one-on-one,
one-on-one.
the
Hmm.
one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
And I've only had maybe two interviews where other people were listening in. Like I didn't even like them say anything. I just kept talking to my guests.
Okay.
So,
Well, yeah, I like the
but
one-on-one, so it's
yeah,
fine.
but they were like one girl was on there like she kept getting up and down doing something with her baby. Like she didn't even
Oh
like
my.
turn the camera off. Oh, it was she was eating a sandwich, and I'm like,
What? No, no,
but
no, no.
so I was like, I'm gonna stick with the one-on-one.
Mhm. Yeah.
So anyway, I appreciate it. Now, before I forget, please give us your contact information.
Oh wow. Okay. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at author CP. Um, my website is www.christinepauls.com. Um, I am on Societap at author CP. I do believe that's what it is. I have so many places. I'm on Goodreads. So follow me there on my author page. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're definitely, I want you all to definitely connect with Miss Christine. She is a gem, not just in the literary sense, but as a down to earth person, a woman who, faith filled woman who inspires me more than I probably even let her know because I'm not really good with saying to somebody, "Oh, you really blessed me," or "You really helped me today." But I want to publicly say that I really enjoy our connection, and I genuinely
Me too.
appreciate
Me
you joining
too.
me tonight.
I appreciate being here. I was like, oh, they had this meeting today and at 2 o'clock, then 3:30. I'm like, you guys, you're doing too much. And with
That's
tax
funny.
season, they always meeting about this, meeting about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I knew I was taking a chance when I accepted, the invitation. I said, hopefully I won't have to work late, but
Yeah.
I made it home. I had some time to spare and I had to hurry and get the computer set up. And I was like, oh my God, I got it. But I'm glad that I did it, and I'm glad that
I'm
you
glad that you
invited
did
me
too.
to come, and because this is great. You should do it a lot more often with other authors. There are plenty of authors out there that love you, so they could
Yeah.
come and
Oh,
sit in
thank
with you
you.
for an
And it's
hour.
funny because I have reached out to several people. Very few people say no, but some do say no. And
Oh,
it kind of like surprises me sometimes the ones that say no because
oh,
like anyway, moving right along.
mhm.
I just well whoever's meant to be here, I guess they're going to say yes. So
Yes, that's
feel
true.
free to yeah. So feel free to share when I post a video in a few minutes. Feel free to share it and to give any feedback that you'd like to give. I'd like to also remind the audience again, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know for a fact that you will be blessed. I'm not just saying it because it's my channel, but I have individuals like Miss Christine who come and really speak to our positive, to our lives. It really enhance us. A few weeks ago, we did a panel discussion about the relationship, the state of the relationships between Black men and Black women.
Mhm.
A couple months back, we did a panel discussion about mental health in
Okay.
the among Black people, and especially when it comes to faith, because sometimes we think faith and mental health are enemies, but they're not. So there's
Mhm.
a lot of really good content on the channel, and I know it will
Okay.
bless you. So I encourage you to subscribe. And again, Miss Christine, thank you so much for spending time with me. I know this is a busy time
Thank
of year for
you.
accountants. but I certainly appreciate you taking the time for
Well, I
yourself.
appreciate being here. It was a fun evening.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank you
and I
so
will
much.
talk to you real soon.
Okay. Have a good night.
All right.
All
Good
right.
night. God bless.
Good night. God bless you too.